Hello and welcome to another interesting edition of Hot Seats on Ogun State Television. My name is Moses Ochewumi. Well, on the show today, my guest is from the 4th Estate of the Rep. He's an international media practitioner. I'm talking about someone who has the ability to cover extremely dangerous stories. In fact, he was named Miracle Man of Nigeria, the King of Nigeria at Reuters and Associated Press. He has worked with so many international organizations, including CNN. Niyi, Babade is my guest on today's show. Hi, welcome to the program. Mr.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, as we always do, let's go through his profile, and when we come back, the interview segment begins. Yes, welcome back. Are you still watching Hot Seats on Ogun State Television? And my guest is Niyi Babade, an international media practitioner. Yes, you're welcome to the program once again.
Thank you.
So much, to talk about as your ambition. But let me just start from the scratch. How did you get into journalism?
It was so funny. I'll tell you, I like taking photographs. And I remember I stole my cousin's 20 naira to buy September 14, but I can't remember the year. I stole my cousin's 20 naira to buy my first camera. And I went back to school, in secondary school, and was taking photos all over the place. And one day, I went to develop, then you develop negatives from film, which to make the real photo that you've taken. So while I went to the studio, there was somebody came to I think to make photocopy of some documents, and I saw College of Journalism in one of the rough paper the person threw on the floor, and I took interest in it because I've always loved the word college. All right, I've always loved the word college, and when I saw College of Journalism, I now took it. I went to one of my aunts and I said, "Sorry, what do you mean by journalism? What is journalism?" He said, "As a journalist, you do this. You work with." He made mention of you work with Daily Times, newspaper, and what have you. I said, "Oh, that's interesting. That's what I think I want to be because I take photographs already." And that was how the journey actually started. And when I went back to school, one of my white T-shirts that I wear in the college, in the secondary school, I wrote, my appellation was, "Please call me a journalist." That was what I wrote on the T-shirt, and that was how it all started.
And of course, now you're a journalist.
Yes, I'm now
for covering extremely dangerous.
Extremely dangerous.
War-torn zones. Looking through your profile, you've covered Syria war.
I was in Liberia. I was in Sierra Leone. I was in Darfur. Name it. All the war that were fought in Africa, in West Africa.
But what drew you to this type of coverage?
When you saw the appellation that they gave me in Reuters, the Miracle Man. The Miracle Man did not just come. All right, I'll tell you one scenario. During the Zango Kataf crisis in Kaduna, all right, myself and Reuters and BBC, I think they have a working relationship kind of. So anytime you do stories, I do story, I go out to cover stories, I go with the BBC correspondent, all right? He will do a piece to my camera, that is, do some things to my camera. So when my news report gets to the London office, they know how they share it, and the report will be shared by both Reuters and BBC. So so during the Sango Katav in Kaduna, there was a situation where we were hearing gunshots from one mud house, and people were dying on the floor. And the BBC lady was reporting on a phone then, what do you call it, the Turaya phone she was holding. I was recording that people are already dying and what have you. And as a cameraman, that's the challenge. How on earth will I say BBC reported that, like you do here, that a situation will happen in Nigeria and you will not be ashamed of yourself as a news station or whatever? They will say, oh, according to the BBC of London. How stupid can that be? According to the BBC of London, 2 people died in Kaduna, your own country. So,
maybe that's no longer true.
It's still happening.
We now tell our
Nigeria journalistic quotes BBC of London. Yeah.
What with the organization? We now tell our stories, Mr. Babade.
Well,
maybe
you
that
were
was
not.
dead.
That wasn't then. It was still happening some years back. I think now that the advance of social media and what have you, that is bringing that down. But let me tell you, as a camera person, how would I relate? What would I tell my office that they say people died? And meanwhile, when the BBC lady had Hillary Anderson, yes, it was it Janet or Hillary, one of them, you know, it was Hillary. You know, Hillary Anderson was already reporting, and I said, and I'm sure London was already waiting for pictures. So what would I go and tell them? Guess what I did? I ran into that direction where they were shooting and people were dying and I was seeing dead body. I ran in by virtue of my organization, by virtue of my organization. All I was to do was to bring the best. All right. And in order to bring the best, how do you do it? I ran straight entered that place, and I saw one guy who pointed his gun. I said, no, wait. I was trying to communicate. Photo. Said, and I saw him the way he was shooting, and they took dead bodies. And you know the irony. When I was coming out of the mud house, the BBC lady was already reporting on her radio that Niyi Babade, the guy from Reuters that we came here together, has entered and I can't find him again, and I think he's dead or something. And when I came, she was shocked to see me.
But that could have cost you your life.
It could have cost me my life. It could have cost me my life. So this lady started hitting me, you know how Oyibo does that. And I said, you are stupid, you are silly. And that was it. Then I managed, you know, before CNN, when during the election, no, I think there was a crisis in Nigeria. Myself and Jeff Konange, he was, I think, a step ahead of me in Reuters. So he was the producer, I was the camera guy. So we were in Nigeria together, and all of a sudden, all over the wire, there was some story saying the 2 black boys in Nigeria are doing fantastically well. Who are these 2 black boys? You get it? So all these were the things I was doing that was giving me that energy.
So you were a cameraman and a reporter.
You know what is called backpack journalism. Backpack journalism is what is now practiced across the globe after the economic meltdown in the world. Backpack journalism is when you work as a cameraman, as a reporter, as everything. All right. And that's why now people don't employ reporters, camera separately again. You must be able to shoot with your camera and what have you. And anytime I have the opportunity to go train people in all the television stations, I always tell them to be backpack journalism. Practice backpack journalism, because with that, you'll still be on top of your game. All right? So all I needed to do was to shoot with my camera, use the dope sheet. The dope sheet is the camera the shot, arrange it the way it's to be arranged, and send it with my tape. Then It wasn't even easy. All we do is you go to look for pidgin. You know, pidgin is a technical language in transmission or in delivery of your tape, of your material. Pidgin means you look for somebody who is traveling, who will hand carry your tape to drop it in London for you, to the London office.
In a situation when you want to do stand-up, for instance, who will undo your camera for you?
I don't do stand-up. I don't do stand-up. I make sure I shoot my thing and let the let the professional in London office do the rest.
Because of course I've seen some CNN journalists in Nigeria, Nick Robertson, for instance.
No, you see them. They hold the small tripod nowadays because with their phone, because civilization advancement has taken over. You know, you can hold with your mini tripod and do a piece to the camera. All right, that is in a situation where you were not on location with your camera guy. So you can do that.
Well,
yeah.
You didn't stop there in Kaduna. You went on to
So yes, in Kaduna, another.
Mr. Babade, anything esoteric? I mean, the fact that, well, look at you. No one would have thought you've covered many walls because you are here looking so sharp and all. Was there any point where so close? No.
Severally.
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 Were you ever shot?
Severally.
You were shot?
Even shot at severally. I don't. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. During MK Abiola and June 12 issue, it was a very bad period. On several occasions, I went to. There was a day that during the crisis, I had a guy who was my assistant who was following me. And I was still trying to train him that, please, when you are running, when you see during riot situation, please run zigzag and what have you. And you know the irony of it, I trained the Nigerian soldiers at the Nigerian School of Public Relations and Information. Anytime I talk to them about all this. They always don't believe, they always believe there's one esoteric something.
That's what I'm saying.
There's nothing esoteric anyway.
Of course, an African man, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, look, yeah, I like this. When the day I was going to go to prison, to go to cell in Port Harcourt, during the Ogoni crisis, where I had all the accolades and all the recommendations in the world, something happened. There was a situation where the guy, the military guy in the government house in Port Harcourt said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I am a journalist from Reuters, and I've told myself I won't be mentioning the name of the press secretary anymore. Let me forgive him." He told them during the Ogoni crisis, said, "Oh, Reuters, I don't know there is anything. I don't think there is anything like Reuters." The next thing, I was arrested and taken to their cell in the government house, and one of the soldiers, when he was going to search me, said, "Bring your juju out, because there's no way you can be here without juju." And I started laughing at him. You know, there are some daring coverages I've done, right? That even when I look back to look at my footages, I ask myself, "Oh, was I dreaming when I was doing all these things?" All right? Tunde Kelani told me a story one day that Hilary Anderson told him a story about me. But she never told me, the BBC girl, that Niyi is a dangerous human being. Why? That we were going to have a plane crash in Warri, and I quickly stood up and brought out my camera and was filming as we were going to crash. It was Tunde Kelani that told me this, that Hilary Anderson told me that, wow, Niyi is a weird person. I've never seen anybody like that.
All throughout, I mean, those times when you were very active,
yes.
What did you believe in?
I believe in God, and I believe in my ability to dodge bullets and what have you.
Ability to dodge bullets?
Yes, on my own.
You doing nothing like charms or...
I don't believe in anything. I always tell people, probably I was doing that because I know my mother, because my mother just had two of us. And my mother will not sleep until she speaks with me on a daily basis. So as an Abiyaman, I know that she was always there. But now that my mother is late, I take my time.
I'm saying, what you did was extraordinary.
Yeah.
Even to, you just talked about Anderson now.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
the white lady
Yes.
was
Yes.
pound.
Yes. She was.
Yeah, yeah,
It was Tika that told me.
You know,
asking
about your bravery.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking.
So how can a plane be about to crash and the guy stood up and said, "Oh, fine, I'm taking our shot as we are going to crash"? Yeah, I was shocked. It was Tika that told me. That see what this girl said about you. All right. You know, it shows all these things, and that's why I say you can't be lazy and call yourself a professional. It was because I was not lazy. I want to tell you one thing.
So you say you've been shot. You know, how many times? Where were you shot? How did you survive?
Well, maybe survival. I survived because it was just mere maybe shrapnel and all that stuff, you know. And another time that I would have died was during the June 12th crisis in Abuja, which was too daring. You know, because they don't allow journalists to come into the court where they were bringing MK Abiola to, and they bar everybody, send people to jail and to cells and what have you. Then, because I knew that, I had gone in the middle of the night to sleep in one forest around the court area, hoping that by tomorrow, by the time they bring Abiola to court, I'll just rise from that place and take my shot of Abiola going to the court. I was there overnight. No, it was I think I woke up around 3 or 4. I went there. Then when they were bringing Abiola, I stood up from the bush to have a shot of Abiola coming into the court. And all of a sudden I had gunshot. And somebody called out to me after the gunshot. And what happened? I think a week before that time, when I came to the court, I think I was the only one that had a small camera, a small camcorder. NTA and the other guys who were there had bigger camera. And there was a guy, his name is Babangida, he was the police guy, the senior police officer within the court, you know, the guy was so neat. And I got fascinated by his neatness, and I said, wow, this is the way police should look. And he looked at my camera and admired my camera, and I said, oh, I work for a foreign organization. He said, no wonder you did not carry this big stuff that all these NTAs were carrying. And that was how we did that familiarity, not knowing that that familiarity was going to save my life. So he got to know me through my small camera a week before, before the day they were going to bring MK Abiola again to the court. So when they brought Abiola, and I rose from the bush to take the shot of Abiola coming into the court premises, the MOPOL, the police officer, who saw me in the forest and said, maybe he did, because he didn't know what I was carrying. Maybe this was part of the people that was being envisaged to come and free Abiola, to take Abiola away and all that rumor, you know. The guy aimed at me with my camera, because I've never seen my camera to shoot me. But Babangida, the Babangida guy, I remember that was what was written on his shirt, saw the guy and said, what was this guy aiming at? Jumped on the guy and made the gun to fly up. And called out to me and said, do you know that shot you just heard was for you? But because I've seen you, I know who you are, I just jumped, because even if I called on to this guy, I couldn't have stopped. And I started crying. So I would have been dead. There are other several which you will read in my memoir very soon.
Yes, Mr. Babade, would you tie your survival on luck, or professionalism, or God?
God and the three. God, luck, and professionalism.
Luck.
And professionalism.
And professionalism.
Yes,
yeah. You said earlier that you train Nigerian soldiers.
Yes.
Any military background? All these experiences?
All these experiences, and then, you know, they send us to military training in outside London, in Hertfordshire. They call that training hostile environment training. Okay. You know,
for how long was that?
I think it's for only 5 days. But they do it, yes, but they do it constantly. They teach you how to dodge bullets, because they will actually be shooting all of you, put you in the field, and you will be running helter-skelter. How to dodge bullets, how to identify landmines, how to make bombs, how to know bombs, what to wear, what not to wear, how to, you understand? So I have all this training in London. So it's what I used to explain survivor to them at the military school.
Okay, before I ask you about your impression about war against terrorism in Nigeria, let me quickly take you back. I could recall that in 2011, your documentary on the Journey to Matador was nominated
for award, yes, in Qatar, and I was a very black Nigerian man to visit that place.
Mm. Some of your shots, you know, looking at that, what one would call a docu-film now, I've not seen it anywhere. Yeah. You know, the shots, perhaps I could say maybe exclusive.
Yeah, to my, yeah.
You know, how did you get?
It was those exclusive. This is a good one. It was those my exclusive shots that led to the making of that documentary. You know, it was those exclusive shots. You know, so some of my colleagues in Nigeria, when you tell them, go and do this, they say, no, we were not paid to do this. We were not given money to go and cover this. We were not, you understand? So, but the foreign medium that I was working with were eager to put any money. You know, at times, there was a day I was asked to go and book a helicopter just to get a shot somewhere. All right? Nigeria media will not tell you to go and do that. Right? They tell you, oh, how much are we making from it and all that stuff. But the foreign medium will go any length to make sure that a particular assignment that they take interest in is well done. Right. On several occasions, I've hired a flying boat, pay like $10,000 to take boat from some places in Warri to interior.
10,000.
Yes, to take boat, to take only myself and my camera, just to go to Focados, Escavos. We travel on ice for like 3, 4, 5 hours for hostages taken and with the restiveness in the Niger Delta area. All right. So you do that. All those are exclusive that you will not get elsewhere. During MK Abiola's crisis, I was always there. Before I know there's going to be court session in Abuja today, I'll fly there. Okay, Abiola will be arriving in Nigeria via Air France, blah, 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 blah. I will be there quickly.
So your media organization gave you all the resources?
All the resources to function well. To perform, yes. Yeah.
You also know that you've met many prominent Nigerians. You've met IBB, you know, Babangida. You've met Shiwaju, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know, just in the course of all this, that must have been so rewarding.
I don't know what you mean by rewarding. I met Babangida. I tell you, I met Babangida when I was doing the MKO Abiola documentary, and I was looking for his own soundbite. All right? And somebody said, I'll take you. No, let me tell you what happened. When I first showed the film at LTV8 in Lagos, some people said, if Babangida sees this film, he will ask Hire Killer to go and look for you. And I told them, oh, that's what I've been looking for. I really need to die. And the lady thought I was joking. What was her name? Niyi Ajagbe. I said, okay, let's see. We can arrange you coming to meet Babangida. I said, yes. Because Babangida needs to talk to me, or else I'm just going to do my film and say, Babangida is the one that has been named the killer of MKO. Unfortunately, I went to Babangida. You know what was funny? When we got to Mina, Babangida said, I should sit down. I said, excuse me, sir. I will not sit down. I come to die because I learned that you will kill me if you see my film. The man said, he pretended not to hear me. I said, sir, I've come from Lagos to come and die because they say when you see my film, you will kill me. The man laughed and said, no. I now said, okay, I have a copy of the film. Can you watch it? If you watch it, then I can now sit down. So I was standing. You know what? Something now happened, jokingly. He now called his houseboy, one Igbo guy, maybe his houseboy or his aide, and said, where's my video? His video machine that I was going to play the film on. And the guy said, no, and Babangida said, you think I did not see you when you sneaked into my room to carry the machine? Sneaked into your room? Ordinary person sneaked to Babangida's room. Babangida that I thought was another god. That was when I realized. I said, oh, so this man is not even God. I now sat down. All right? And he said, oh, you are the only journalist he will talk to, and that was it. And that was for Babangida. And Babangida was rewarding. Bola Tinubu, I met.
Rewarding in what way?
Financially.
Financially.
He gave me some financial assistance later to enhance the production of the documentary.
Just for enhancements.
For enhancement, yes, just enhancement. For IBB,
why in the School of Journalism, yeah. Of course, we're talking about brown envelope.
Yes, brown envelope must not pass $50. The moment it passes $50, you report to your organization. Anything they are giving you, you are not encouraged. I was doing a documentary.
Did that fall into that category?
No, it didn't fall into that category. That's why I'm proud to say. So I was doing a documentary. I was doing a documentary on my own. It's a documentary project that needs financial assistance to be able to put out there. So it wasn't that, oh, thank you for coming envelope. No, that's different. For Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, when I met him, somebody, Tokunbo, I can't remember his last name, Tokunbo Odutola, took me to Bola Tinubu and said, sir, this guy works for CNN, this guy is this guy is that. And I told Bola Tinubu, I said, excuse me, sir. He was campaigning. I said, I'm going to put you on CNN now. He looked at me and did not talk. And I quickly took my camera, did film, and I told him what to say, that please tell the world, say, I believe in transition, this military transition to democracy.
You told him what to say?
Yeah, what to say. Because, you know, I am the reporter here. I am the one doing my report. I know what I want to put out to the world to see. Right?
But is that not propaganda for?
He wanted propaganda. And I said, he let me tell you what he said. I told him what I wanted to hear. That please, this is military government, and the military government are ready to transit and have a democracy. Please, tell the world that you are taking part in this election because you believe the military are genuine.
But that has come from you naturally.
No, he could have been presenting himself. He would have been saying, do you know who I am, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't want that. I needed bullet points.
Your question would have, you know.
No. You know, you see, I needed bullet points that will make my story. All right? I was talking about election. And I want somebody who will say, oh, it's because the military, I believe the military are ready to go, that I am doing this and what have you. And he said it. And I think by evening time, or was it evening time, because I went to we were using Nitel to transmit. You know, you shoot with your camera, carry all, I have all the cable, you go to Nitel, plug it to their heart station, and transmit it to London straight from there. So immediately I transmitted it. By evening time, they were showing him. No, I was still with him when they were showing him. And I think a call came in from America and said, sir, we are watching you now on CNN. And then he said, oh, the boy who put me there is here, and held me by the hand. That was the relationship. And I became Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's boy for some time.
All these stories
yes.
has to do with our image, you know, image of Nigeria out there. So
yes.
Because it depends on anything you put on will definitely, I would say a lot about us, because big stories.
Yeah.
At any point, were you induced or told to distort, you know, the facts? Because of course they knew how important you were, and your medium, for instance.
Look, we Nigerians are very, very funny. I did not compromise my job, my responsibility. All right? That's why anytime I see what is not right, I tell them it's not right. What is right, I tell them it's right. There was a time, an organization, I can't remember where they came from. They called me and said that there are some ammunition inside one barracks in Nigeria. I don't want to mention that if I can help them get a shot of that ammunition, and I look at them, all rubbish, how much are you going to pay me? You don't get that there are some ammunition, that there are some tanks, I think military tank, Russia military tank inside. And I told them, sorry, I'm not called out for such. Right? So I know when to draw the line. You know, I don't just, and that's why when I remember anytime we were in the London office and some Nigerians are talking, my colleagues will call me, come and see your people, and we will laugh over them. You get, because we know that there are certain things that are not done properly. So I've never been distorted and say, oh, I want to sell out. No, no, no. Professionalism should always, you should adhere to your profession and be the best at it. That's why you see all that miracle, King Niyi of Nigeria will kiss your crown, all those accolades that you see. Because they know I will do my best at all times. I don't compromise. Mm. Yeah.
So you did make your mark
yes.
at CNN,
yeah.
in cable news network.
Yeah.
But why did you leave?
I think I am tired.
You were tired?
Mm-hmm. I've done myself. I think I've done, but after I left.
Was there a bigger offer elsewhere?
I was looking for a bigger offer elsewhere. Yes. I was going to get Al Jazeera, but I was stupid. I never knew Al Jazeera were not going to be biased, right? This is the fact I'm telling you. This is my secret. I thought Al Jazeera were just a Muslim thing that would be biased at all times. And because there was an ID card, I don't know if I have it here, that was given to us that says, that was signed by all the police in the world. It's a special ID card given to us. I said, you know, when you show that, they just ask you for your PIN anywhere in the world, and they recognize you. Said, this journalist is blah, 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 blah. And I said, when I go to Al Jazeera, I won't have such. I never knew that Al Jazeera is going to be what it is today. I won't have such, and I'll just go at the airport, point of entry, I will say, I am from Al Jazeera. People will laugh at you and say, that was Al Jazeera, or maybe you are a bomber. You get what I'm saying? So I regretted, but by that time it was too late. Then I was thinking of practicing politics in Nigeria, you know, but later I discovered it was not my kind of business, all right?
Why?
Because you don't practice politics in Nigeria. You don't. There's nothing like, and I always say things.
So what do you practice?
I don't know what you practice. I've been looking for domination. I am Nigerian. I keep telling Nigerians that we should look for a new definition for our own kind of democracy. When you say democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, we have never practiced democracy in Nigeria. The government of the people, which people? When was the last time your president addressed you? When was the last time you saw your local government chairman?
I mean,
the moment they are voted into power,
addresses us on TV. We watch him on TV.
No,
you know.
President Buhari addresses us just recently. Look at when there was crisis in the land. People were waiting for him, and he never came out.
But he needed to get his facts right.
But the president of a country should get his facts right at every point in time. There are a lot of reports coming in, flying into his table.
You saw what happened at Capitol Hill.
Yes.
Years back, if someone had told you
that
something happened in America, perhaps you would have said no.
Yes, I would say no.
Could you see a consonance?
Well, why that happened in America now is because I think there is a conspiracy theory somewhere that some forces are building across the globe, and that's why everybody we have to be careful. And this reminded me of that documentary I watched, the Inside Job. In that documentary, they talked about a lot of things, how Harvard is even now being trained to change the mentality of anybody that comes to school there, so that by tomorrow nobody will be able to query the word, whatever they do. You get? So all these things are part of what is
democracy at threat even in America?
Well, the world is changing, so you can call it threat. You can call it threat. But what I know is, no matter what happens, it has happened in America, and it cannot repeat itself again. All right? But if it was in Africa, it will repeat itself several times before something is done.
You're so sure that won't happen again?
It won't happen again.
In America?
I doubt it will not happen again.
What will you make of the reportage, on the NSAs protest? Of course, the federal government not comfortable with that investigative piece. They believed they were not fair enough, that they didn't balance it.
They goofed. CNN goofed. CNN goofed. So I later apologized and said they were sorry, they goofed. That was rubbish. That wasn't CNN that I used to do. That they goofed. They should stand by their fact at every point in time. That's part of the training. So
do you think the facts were distorted? Because they said they used, some sophisticated geometric technology.
If they said they used all those and they later came back to apologize, they have goofed. There's nothing else. They have goofed and they failed. They failed themselves. Because if with your fact, if you are with your fact, and now and that's what is now happening. A profession, journalism, a profession that has taken the best part of my life. Now, because of the introduction of social media, everybody becomes journalist and say, according to, no. It was that social media that distorted the CNN's mentality and their whatever. That they say, some people sent us this, some people gave us this fact. What fact? If you had sent a reporter on ground who shot with their camera, I don't think the Nigerian government will ask you to come and prove it and beg, right? But you are taking information and news footages from what somebody said on social media. No, it doesn't work like that.
A Nigerian DJ Switch, was live on Instagram, but many still believe that was doctored.
Well, all that, like I said, the advent of social media is very, very is unacceptable. Is not doing justice to proper journalism. I don't see social media as journalism. It's not journalism. It's just canker-worm kind of talk. Where you sit down in your house and you see something, you read something on somebody's blog, and you begin to say you are a journalist. It's not. Where did you school? Which college? Where did you sit? What exam did you pass? And you say you are. All those things. If they had gone through the tutelage of journalism, they wouldn't be doing all those stuff.
Well, before we talked about that, you said you had interest in politics before, but not any longer.
Yes.
But I could also recall that you were once nurturing an ambition of becoming an ambassador.
I'm not nurturing. I'm going to become an ambassador, either you like it or not. If you don't want to appoint me as ambassador, very soon what will happen will happen. I am too positive. When I told them that I wanted an ambassadorial thing or international appointment, somebody told me, because all your certificates, all your these are not, they are all on communication and information and what have you. I went back to college to go and study history and international diplomacy, and I came out with flying color. So tell me what will stop me from becoming an ambassador. See, there are some ambassadors across the globe who are agriculturists. I remember the one that came to Dublin, Ireland. He said he has BA in agriculture. So tell me, but because Nigeria, only God knows how we behave here.
What piqued your interest in diplomacy?
Because I just want to see the world and address the globe on so many issues. That's the thing. I want to speak to the world. I've got a message to tell the world.
Well, if you're an ambassador, it has to be about Nigeria.
It has to, yes, I want to, look, I want to represent Nigeria, that image. I want to launder that image. You understand? Look, you may not know this. Anytime I do positive stories about Nigeria, right? That was what led to the introduction of Inside Africa. I started with a day in the life of a prominent Nigerian. All right? Because I want to talk about positivity in Nigeria. All right? So, as an ambassador, I needed to correct so many impressions. They know that, oh, this guy was with us before. You get what I'm saying? And now he knows us and he knows where he's coming from. This is not somebody who just comes from Nigeria and you give political appointment and becomes ambassador. I've been part of them, right? Reporting Nigeria to them, right? Now, I want to come and represent Nigeria now. You are playing politics, right? So, but I will get it.
Well, best of luck.
The best thing is for you to just wish me good luck.
Yeah, I've said that. Best of luck.
Yeah.
But there's this impression that Western media organizations only report negative stories about Africa. Yes, you've talked about...
If you know the definition of news...
That's not enough.
If you know the definition of news, no news is good news, right? For instance, the reason why people think in Western media does not report good thing about Nigeria or about Africa is this. There is a policy of, will it affect other people other than the protagonist, right? If it did not affect other people other than the protagonist, why do I want to talk about it? For instance, if you say Governor Abiodun of Ogun State has tarred the road to OGTV, how does that concern international media? Tell me, please. No, it has no business.
It's a positive news.
It's a positive news, but has no relevance to how many people in America, in London, in Europe are coming to visit this part of Nigeria. All right?
But we have national news, you know, that are positive. Not everything.
When you see national news that are positive, you see that the Western media still talks about them.
Hardly.
I just told you now. Do you know the Western media does not just take one story from one village and that is that. They take stories across the globe. All right? There are a lot of stories. You know, recently, Ekiti State governor did something about COVID-19, and I'm still battling with CNN that story must hit the screen.
As that is the screen?
No, I mean this happened only yesterday or thereabout.
But
still working on that story. It must. Because that's a positive story.
When you were reporting for Nigeria, how much of positive stories did you pull out? Did you put out there?
I do. For Inside Africa, I did lots of African story, traditional dances, Egungun festivals, and all that. To show the rich culture of Nigeria.
Babade, Inside Africa is a program.
Yes.
You know, I'm talking about news content. It's a program on Africa.
Yes.
So it has to be about Africa, and most times, positive news about Africa, but away from inside out. I'm talking about the news, the comprehensive news.
Well, if there are, I think I've done several too. I've done several positive news. Yes. Like, okay, during General Obasanjo, there's always conferences of head of state coming to Nigeria. I was always reporting that because General Obasanjo became the big brother of Africa and was always hosting African leaders. You have Nepal, what have you. Yeah, those are positive stories about Nigeria. And I was always there and putting it out to the world. Yeah.
Well, you must be quite concerned about our image. Yes,
yes.
You've been to so many countries.
Yes.
And most times it's always about the negative things about Nigeria. Let's talk about the current administration. President Muhammadu Buhari What's your impression about him trying to right, the wrongs, trying to project an image out there? Is that enough?
It's not enough. He needs to do more through his aides. He needs to do more. And you see, there's something that I still don't get straight. If the Minister of Information believes it does not, it's the responsibility of the Minister of Information to keep talking to the people at every point in time. The Minister will not just keep quiet and leaving the people in limbo and saying they should know what to do, it doesn't make sense. It's somebody, you understand? So that's why I say that it's not enough. President Buhari needs to let his aid to do more.
You're close to the army. You train there, especially the public relations department. Yes, we've been battling Boko Haram for, if not over a decade now, but it seems to me as a conundrum. Nigerian army battling Boko Haram. At some point we thought Boko Haram was degraded, but recently, the reality, Boko Haram is not yet degraded. I could recall that last year the Chadian soldiers with the...
I remember, and I was making fun of us.
We thought Boko Haram had been weakened, and they said Nigerian soldiers would just go in there and
take them.
flush them out. And we're happy. I could recall that, Babade, said he won't leave the northeast until, they were successful with that operation. Why is this such, fight against terrorism in Nigeria such a conundrum?
I don't want to join issues with some of the things I've been reading or hearing. I just think that something is wrong and we don't want to be fair enough to ourselves. We don't want to be true to ourselves. Something is wrong somewhere. Because if nothing is wrong, I witnessed the beginning of Boko Haram. I witnessed the beginning of Boko Haram. The day Yusuf was killed, I was there. All right? In Bono. I saw what happened. I was part of what happened, and I documented it and I put it out there. So, for Yusuf to say that, look, even if you kill me, other people will come out. Until today, the prophecy he made is still happening, and we're still battling. Then something is wrong. Something is wrong. And because we're not too, like I said, Nigerians, we're not so...
Would you tag the killing of Yusuf as a mistake, looking at what's happening since his death? No.
No, I think, well, it's a mistake now.
Mistake now. What could we have done, that time to...
and I think why he was killed, there are some of these things that are exclusive. I told you I was there when he was killed. It was not a thing that we can say on national television. The circumstances where he was killed, and but we should just take it as one of those things. But it was a mistake.
How much of coverage have you done related to Boko Haram?
Severally. I remember we went to their first hideout where they have several bags of rice, several bags of beans, of millet, several motorbikes. We were able to bring out the women and the children that they have, that are servicing them and all that stuff in Bono. That was when they first started all these things. I've covered enough of Boko Haram. And I've followed the military to where and all that stuff.
Okay, we're on the home stretch now, Mr. Babade. But what does Babade do now?
Still working as a journalist. I am, every day, I do a lot of things for foreign media. I do a lot of documentaries, I do TV commercials, and I do my reportage. I'm still currently the Nigerian representative correspondent for Netball Africa. So I'm still working.
Well, maybe your parting shot on the program, your advice, basically for Nigerian media. You are here now in Nigeria. I'm sure you watch OGTV, you watch channels, TVC, Arise TV, and a whole lot.
Well, Nigerian media will not improve. He will still believe in this policy of who pays the piper dictates the tune. We will not improve. If we allow professionalism to take the center stage in Nigerian media, we will go a long way. Oh, Mr. Governor is fighting somebody. You send a reporter there, take it, blah, blah, blah. You are not reporting from the angle of the governor, but you are reporting from the angle of the people. Because you are the voice, you are the eyes of the people. You see that we will move forward. But the moment you say, it's a governor, it has to be, no, we won't go anywhere.
But in recent years, we've seen some investigative journalists, Nigerian journalists. I mean, one name rings a bell now, that's Fisayo Shuyombo. I don't know if you heard about him. He's also done something related, of course, not war now, but trying to expose, certain irregularities in Nigerian systems. And I mean, are you fascinated by this? The fact that you are now seeing some Nigerian youths quite brave to also take on some of these difficult jobs in journalism?
There are some places I've trained the people in River State. I remember when during Amishi on investigative journalism, because that is what I specialize in, investigative journalism. Investigative journalism is not practiced in Nigeria. It is just when I am not happy with you, I now do an reporting on you and I say I'm doing investigative journalism. Proper investigative journalism have rudiments, which I'm going to discuss with my students tomorrow. Proper investigative journalism has rudiments. There are things you do and there are things you don't do. So when I see investigative journalism, I know this is investigative journalism. I think the first investigative reporting in the world was the Watergate in England, right? So that's where the investigate. When you see proper investigative journalism, you do investigative journalism. Oh, because there was a colleague who wanted to expose one man and my woman, and he got caught and he was thinking he was doing investigative journalism, and he was sent to prison. So all those things, so, until we adhere to...
That has no foothold.
Exactly, until you and I, until we follow professionalism properly, we won't go anywhere.
Well, thank God you have students now.
Yes.
You are training.
Yes.
But what about your children? Does anyone of them follow your paths?
No, I don't think so. I won't even advise them. I don't think so. The first guy is into computer, and and he's taking some photos. He takes photos. I'll just call him and say, "Where are you?" And he will tell me that I am in Argentina, I'm in South America, I am in one place, I am taking pictures. So he does photography on his own, which I still don't know where he's heading for. Not photojournalism, just for normal photography.
Well, at this way, we draw the curtain onto this edition of the program. Many thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Could go this way. So, and to Atmi viewers, many thanks for watching today's edition of the program. My guest has been Niyi Babade, an international media practitioner, a man with fearless ability, to report extremely dangerous stories. You've heard a whole lot, as regards that. So till next week, when I come your way again, please do stay out of trouble. My name is Moses Ojewumi. Bye for now. you.